Hello everyone, welcome back to Pris Corner with me Pris. I hope you're okay wherever you are. Today on What's Real or Not episodes, I am discussing another new Japanese comic/manga series titled The Hazy Flower of Yoshiwara. This series was made by Sawaki Otonaka, which only contained 3 volumes. So this is also a short series. If you want to know more about the series, I will leave the details in the link in the description box below. And if you want to support me further, I will leave the link in the description box below as well. So I concluded that the series was based by 5% fantasy, 5% gray area, and 90% real. So as per usual, I will start from the fantasy part, then move on to the gray area, and lastly on the real part. Before we start, I would like to give you a little bit disclaimer beforehand. This series is an isekai type of story. If you don't know what isekai is, better check out the trivia facts segment on my Ko-fi page or just search it on Google. I think Joro and Geisha are the same because they are an entertainer. So sex or prostitution is only a side business, and their main business is the entertainment that they offer to their client. I mean like dancing, playing musical instrument, and also accompanying the clients. Also, they have a tier list or basically a level to decide the Joro or Geisha status at that time. It's also based on their experience in serving the clients and what type of clients that they serve, meaning their social status and also their wealth. But I don't know why the terms are different. If you know about it, please correct me if I'm wrong. The story will set in Edo time period and take place in Yoshiwara or the red light district of Edo. So there will be a lot of Japanese cultural references, tradition and behaviors that I find can become a trigger or a sensitive topic for some people, because at that time women are considered as tools to satisfy men's lust or desires. Hence it's called the red light district or localization, or even like a prostitution complex that a little bit structured and organized or even more sophisticated, because mainly their job as an entertainer rather than a prostitution. I think like the prostitution is kind of like a side business and not the main business that they offer basically. So I hope you keep that in mind while reading this series. If you cannot handle these type of things, better just skip this series entirely and just check out the other series that I have already covered on the channel. But if you can't handle it, please keep that in mind, and I hope you enjoy reading this series and enjoy my podcast as well. So after getting this out of the way, let's really jump right in. On the fantasy part, firstly we're going to be talking about Hana's appearances. Hana rarely wears kimono and only wears it for special occasion like for the job, or had to wear it for her own safety, and mostly only wears her school uniform, which most of the people at that time considered it as a weird kimono. So she often called as the girl with a weird kimono. The weird thing is, at the very first beginning in the first volume, there is a lot of perfect men that chase Hana and wants to basically having sex with Hana. But throughout the story, because she trapped in this Edo time period for almost a year, there is no longer any men that try to pursue her or chase her like in the first volume, when you read the stories in the second and the third volume. I don't know if it's because of the durations, but it's odd or weird there isn't like a single man that tried to pursue her in any other way or form. And secondly, I don't know if people already get adjusted seeing her in that weird kimono of hers. They just treat Hana like a normal people in that time period who wears kimono, or traditional kimonos. Even though when they first meeting with Hana, after hearing rumors about Hana, like I said before, Hana has been nicknamed as the girl with a weird kimono. So the rumor spread. And even though they just heard the rumor and never meet with Hana in person, they treat Hana quite, normally, I guess. The reaction is almost the same like when you seeing a beautiful woman, it's just like that. But they never mention about her weird kimono or things like that. To be more accurately, they never basically points out that, Again, I don't know if people basically already adapting and adjusting in seeing her in that outfit throughout the year that she thrived in this Edo time period. But I think her school uniform would be attracted many unwanted attention, I guess. And I think people shouldn't treat her as normally as it was in the story. But again, for the sake of the duration, I will understand that. Lastly, about the fantasy part is about Renosuke timing. Like every time Hana is in danger or people try to do something to her, bad things like violence or trying to slap her, Renosuke always comes in time to save Hana. I think for the first two encounters or meetings, it's pretty reasonable and understandable. But for the next timing, after two encounters, it's just like a miracle, Like when Hana goes to the capital, Renosuke accidentally in there as well. Again, I don't know if it's for the sake for the romance. I understand that, but it's just too fantasy in my opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it just doesn't make sense for me. That's all. Next, move on to the gray area. The first thing that I'm gonna mention is about the woman who chased Renosuke. Our male protagonist is really popular and had quite a number of history with women as well, because she plays around or sleep around, I guess. What I find it weird is because when Hana tried to save Renosuke from the other women that hold him back or basically get in the way when Renosuke tried to go to some place, Hana stepped in and basically claimed Renosuke as hers, and Renosuke also did the same, and the woman that chased Renosuke get displeased and basically just flee from the scene, I get it if you basically back off because there is another girl that claiming your crush as hers, but I think it wouldn't end that easily, because after that there is no woman that try to get in their way, Renosuke and Hana's way. It's still possible that women basically just backs off and gives up on their crush, but I think it's pretty rare and usually it's the other way around, where the woman is really persistent in chasing her crush, and doesn't matter what she's gonna do, to get her crush back, and usually try to bully our female protagonists as well. But there is no cases like that happen, I guess. Probably because of the duration as well, but it's just weird for me. And secondly, about the ending of the series, like I said, the ending is kind of off and they didn't give basically an extra chapter or panels to explain what's happened afterward, which I'm so disappointing about this series and one of the weaknesses as well. About the ending is kind of a bit rushed and forced, I guess. I think like all of Yoshiwara building is gonna get destroyed by a sudden earthquake, which happened from nowhere. And I don't know if it's happened in the real life or in history there is an earthquake in Yoshiwara, or it's just basically one part of the story that fiction. The earthquake is just made into the story, so the story will have a happy ending. That's why I feel the ending is kind of forced, but if it's true, then it's probably real. But because I don't know the full truth of it or the full pictures, that's why I put it in the gray area. In real life it's still possible to happen, but I kind of doubt it, because people want to see the happy ending, right? Even though real life doesn't work that way most of the times, I guess. And that's all for the gray area. Lastly, on the real part, which I give a high percentage. The reasons of this high percentage already mentioned in the in-depth review episodes. If you haven't check out the in-depth review episodes, please check out the in-depth review episodes now, because you will get the full detailed picture about what I'm gonna talking about after this. So the real part of the series is about the art style that presenting the cultures and environment of the Edo time period, which reflected in the clothing and hairstyle, also the traditional ceremonies that being explained, both as a trivia facts and also in the characters' dialogue, So we know fully about the circumstances and the cultures in this time period, which I say is so terrible and miserable, especially in the Yoshiwara or the red light district. Like Joro or Geisha cannot fall in love either with their client or the male staff that helping them. It means like you cannot really love anyone that you like, because of the social status and the circumstances, And if you do that and it ends up badly, or the relationship doesn't work, you and maybe your lover or partner will receive a bad consequences. And when I say bad, it's real bad, and it's really like the worst thing that you could wish for yourself. I mean, it reached suicide and death as well. So it's quite a wide margin. And also you learn to fight for your love, Fight for it as much as you can before it gets too late and you will regret for it for the rest of your life. That's why at the present time, there is many literatures, whether it is story, poems, telling a story about unreached love or one-sided love, even basically the love being separated because of the social status and the circumstances at that time, which we can observe in the present time, if you're looking for it. And also how society basically tries to control you, at that time period. That's why freedom is a luxury and expensive thing that you can have, almost like a luxury privilege, That's why right now you have to cherish that we have freedom right now, because a few centuries ago you don't have any kind of freedom like the freedom that we have in the present moment. And many people basically die from an illness at the time period because there is no sufficient knowledge about medicines and illness or diseases as well, especially diseases that related to the genitals organ. So it's like a fate that worse than that, It's better to just die rather than to live but suffering like that. And like I said in the in-depth review episode, I think the authors kinda depicted the reality and the condition at that time period really well, which I think makes sense, But you can see how hard it is to survive, I know the condition right now is not easy. It's been hard and tough for all of us. But the condition in a few centuries ago is more harder, than the condition in the present moment, I think. If I have to compare the two. But feel free to disagree about it. And yeah, I think that's all for the real part of this series. Again, I'm sorry if there is wrong grammar or mispronunciation along the way. Hope you bear with it and still can enjoying these episodes. Also, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram to know what kind of contents that I'm gonna be uploading. And also stay tuned on my Ko-fi page and any other podcast platform that you listen in right now. Stay safe, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.